Well, I'm the last one in a row. And I'm in the English part of the conference, so I will have to speak English. My dissertation, PhD dissertation, was about amplification in classroom. And the fact is that the voice, or let's rather say the throat, the human throat, is a very weak amplifier when it comes to classrooms. Here we have several studies I have made, and let's see if amplification is necessary in a classroom. And now I am speaking for the children, just as much as for the speaker. For successful oral teaching, 3 factors have to harmonize in a classroom. That's the voice, hearing, and acoustics. They frequently don't, because there is limitation of the voice capacity. We maybe too seldom think about it because we can hear our own voice so clearly. But you can see when we are talking about what you have been seeing here, noise up to 80 dB, and then we have to shout because the signal to noise, the teacher's voice has to top the noise, so much. And the capacity isn't there. And you can see the distance. We are measuring it at 1 meter, which means that, of course, the voice becomes weaker and weaker the longer it has to carry. And then we have the listeners. We have hearing problems. We have been seeing that today. Underdeveloped hearing ability. And when I read this American study, that children, they do not generally reach adult-like performance on recognition, tasks in noise or reverberation until approximately 13 to 15 years of age, which means the whole school. So they don't have our skills like we saw in Sala's results. Language disorders, development disabilities, learning disabilities, and bilingual, that number is growing. Then we come to the classrooms, and I was talking about the distance. You see, when we are talking about a classroom where the distance between the child and the teacher is about 8 meters, they just catch 36% correctly from what was said. And we are talking about 5 to 7 years old children, and the circumstances were good. So this study I'm going now to show you is based on 4 questionnaire studies. I don't have equipment here in Iceland to analyze the voice, so I have turned more and more to questionnaire studies to investigate if or how amplification is beneficial in different teaching conditions. So here we have the subjects in 4 studies. The first study, that was actually my dissertation, more or less. Then I thought, what about men? Do they like amplification? Because they had deeper voice. Is it a myth that the male voice carries better? The third study, 4 females, that was open plan school. And the fourth study, there were 3 from a very small rural school. Let's see what happened. The amplification was used in class during a week. And the teachers had to answer 2 questionnaires, both about their voice and also about how they like the amplification system. The same for the students. They had to answer in school how or if they liked it. The result, here we come to a teaching experience age. And for the preschool teachers, you can see it is much higher than for preschool teachers. So that is something you have to look into. And the working hours per week and the number of students in class were from 12 to 76. Then we have self-reported vocal symptoms of 45 teachers for almost always, often, and sometimes. And then you can see that their voices are very tired. Vocal fatigue while reading aloud, almost half of the group. And when it comes to vocal fatigue in conversation, we have really teachers that shouldn't be teaching. And multiple vocal symptoms, that is, we say they had more than 3, it came up to 38%. So we have problems in this occupation. Then I asked them to comment on amplification, all of them. And here we have rather scary telling me, at least, that the voice is a weak amplifier of the throat, because they found it beneficial. And when we come to necessary to repeat yourself when using amplification, 9 said yes, but it turned to 73 when they were not using amplifiers. And less tiredness in the vocal mechanism. We are not talking about the voice, because you don't take your car because the sound has something wrong with the sound. The sound is telling you that there is something wrong with the engine or motor. So then we come to very interesting. You see that is university students. And here we have what I didn't expect, these small, you see there's not very much difference. This here, where the rural pupils are, they like it too. So is the human voice really so weak? That's a question. It's the same questionnaire. Same questions. And you see it's almost the same pattern. And for the males, they are 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see they like it too. And the disadvantages, that surprised me because I was using very cheap equipment. Not good. Not like they do in theaters and so. And they liked it more than disliked it. But amplification is not the answer if the room is reverbing, because then it makes it more reverbing. And it's a random example from 14 years old students, easier to hear and follow, easier to hear, here. You can hear the teacher better and it is easier to listen and follow what she's saying. You're talking about 14 years old. I can hear better. You can hear the teacher better. And the next slide, when I compared, I asked them when they were so young, how do you like this? And then I said why, if they liked it or disliked it. And you see it's the same. Both those teachers were very good teachers. That's my opinion. They had discipline, both of them. One with 48 pupils in class, the other with 12 pupils. It's the same replies from the children. So is amplification necessary in a classroom? That is my opinion. Both teachers and pupils agreed that amplification in the classroom was beneficial, and the research suggests that amplification in class may be ergonomically desirable both for teachers' voices and for students' listening effectiveness. So, according to the literature, the use of amplification in classroom for children with normal hearing seemed to be virtually unknown. Why? Consideration. Do we overestimate how well our own voice carries? Do we take it for granted that the listener can hear our voices as well as we do ourselves, regardless of distance or noise? Are hearing problems more severe and common than we previously thought? Is it possible that classroom noise and unfavorable acoustics means that the consonants that are vitally important for our ability to understand disappear on their way from the teacher's mouth to the listener's ear, even in small classrooms with few pupils? Is the voice not strong enough to carry all speech sounds? Thank you.